that ought to be given substantial time. Now, when we take it long for us to come back again or reconvene, it is causing us to become more worried about the situation that is prevailing. So we are pleading that, as you have already decided to lead us, is it not possible to prioritize the commission's work so that we can also make sure that in that work we come up with something substantial? Thanks, Chair.
Comrades, as per our decision is that we will give each a message of support 5 minutes. In that within 10 minutes we'll be out to commissions, I agree, comrades. But other work is happening also beside commissions. And we'll be happy if all of us are back so that when we break for commissions, even those who are still engaging are back into the hall. Can we allow only 10 minutes, comrades, and then we break for commissions? Comrades from Cuba, come forward and address the Congress.
Hello. Well, I know you just have lunch. Your belly is full. And you are short of time because of the commissions. And this is your Congress. We have to respect that. So we will try to be short also to give the message from the Communist Party of Cuba. A year ago, our people, the Cuban people, mobilized in the streets to defeat the attempt of soft coopted, with which the enemies of the Cuban Revolution tried to overthrow, but it wasn't the first time during the revolution. And it would be the last one. But I can assure every time they will try to do the same, every time they will get defeated. July is the month of heroic assault of Moncada garrison by Fidel Castro. And it's the month of the martyrs of Cuban Revolution. It will never be commemorated date for those who seek the erase of the glorious work of our revolution. It is not enough to impose us a genocidal blockade of more than 60 years that have failed, and every year, with the almost unanimous vote in United Nations, demands its complete and immediate lifting. The attempts to establish opinion in the media that Cuba is facing a massive humanitarian crisis are unfounded. Falsehoods, fictitious legends, and their propagation in the media are used to intentionally generate the image of a country socially unstable and in political crisis. But it's not true. Through the media, it's spreading a campaign of political destabilization and discredit against Cuba, with the use of millions of dollars, highly sophisticated information, and disinformation technologies. At the core of all these attempts is the implementation of a fourth-generation war operation, like the ones that the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela faced in 2017. These are the same methods of the empire manuals to confuse people, to try to overthrow governments. Our enemies bet on our defeat. We don't bet. We don't leave it to chance. We are going always to the victory. In each attempt to overthrow, they crash against the morality, serenity, intelligence, and courage of the Cuban people. Our people is fighting today a titanic and unequal struggle to defend its truths. We are willing to disappear in defense of our freedom or our independence, sovereignty, and socialist democracy. Cuba lives and works, educates, provides health, does sciences and culture every day in our country, and help all the countries that need that help from us. Our adversaries, our enemies, don't suspect what a such a people we are. We love and want peace, but we also are rebels against injustice and lies. We will defend our revolution with justice, truth, and morality. We are not ashamed to defend our revolution at all costs. We only have one option: socialism, no capitalism. Cuba will overcome any obstacle and will win. Our history includes many moments in which the Cuban people and the revolution have known how to turn setbacks into histories, into victories. Conrads, allow me to read now a message directly from the Communist Party of Cuba. On the occasion of the 15th National Congress, received a fraternal greetings from the people and the Communist Party of Cuba. May this Congress serve to pay tribute to fighters like Josh Love, Ruth First, Chris Hani, and other anonymous heroes who dedicated their lives for building a new South Africa without exclusions. We ratify the deep friendship between both parties, forged in the struggle, which had among its numerous expressions the celebration on Cuban soil, the 7th Congress in April 1989, which was attended at that moment by Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro. 28 years after the end of the apartheid, and the 33 years after the historic Congress of the South African Communists, the last held in clandestine conditions, we reiterate the validity of the message for the Central Committee of the Communist Party in Cuba. I quote, "In front of difficult tasks that still lie ahead to achieve the full freedom of their people, the Cuban communists want to express once again our militant solidarity and our sensing of their final victory and in the emergence of a united, democratic, and non-racial South Africa. In this struggle, you can always count on the support and internationalist help by the Cuban people." I close the quotes. We appreciate the support of the African Communist Party in the battle for more than 6 decades against the unjust, criminal, and unjustified economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed by the government of the United States, which constitutes the most flagrant, massive, and systematic violation of the human rights of the Cuban people and the main obstacle for our development. We acknowledge the solidarity support from South Africa when the United States government tried to take advantage of the COVID-19 pandemic, reinforcing the blockade and increasing subversive actions against Cuba. In those hard moments, we received from you the donation of food and other supplies that contribute to face the difficulties. Cuban communists are immersed in the fulfillment of ideas, concepts, and guidelines of the 8th Congress of the Party Congress in Cuba. There are three main tasks: development of the national economy, a struggle for peace, and ideological firmness, prioritizing the attention and leading role of the youth, because they are the continuators of our revolution. They are the continuators of the Communist Party of Cuba. Aware of the challenge we face, we ratified that in Cuba there will be no restoration of capitalism, nor solution that damage the unity of the Cubans. With intelligence and realism, using science, innovation, with creative resistance, just as we managed to control the COVID-19, creating our own vaccines, our own medicines, and we will bypass blockades and continue to build an independent, democratic, socialist, prosperous, and sustainable society. The Communist Party of Cuba ratifies that in foreign policy we will maintain fidelity to the principles upheld by the Cuban Revolution in defense of the noble and just causes of the world, the commitment to self-determination, and respect for the sovereignty of states. On July 18, we will celebrate a 104th anniversary of the birth of Nelson Mandela, the first president of post-apartheid South Africa. Mandela was decorated in Cuba with the Order Playa Girón, the high order that we have in Cuba. May this Congress serve to honor Madiba, a leader much loved by the Cuban people and who had a close relations and brotherhoods with the also late Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro Ruz. We are convinced that the deliberations and resolution of the 15th Congress of South African Communist Party will ratify the validity of the Marxist-Leninist ideology, the transformation program for the benefits of South Africans. We wish all of you success in this work. Long live to the Communist Party of South Africa. La lucha continúa.
Thanks, comrades. Thank you very much for the message of support. We call upon the comrades from Venezuela to come and make their message of support.
Thank you, comrade. Amandla! Amandla! Dear comrade, I will to read. My English is very bad. It's better for you. I read here. It is an immense honor for us to come to the homeland of Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Moses Kotane, Chris Hani, Josh Lobo, and thousands of other heroes of the struggles against apartheid and against imperialism, to pay an exciting tribute to the glorious South African Communist Party on the occasion of its historic 15th Congress and the first century of its revolutionary struggles. Likewise, we bring to the delegates of this Congress, to the leadership and the militants of the party, the sincere and affectionate greetings of our President, Nicolás Maduro, and the first Vice President of the United Socialist Party Venezuela's, Diosdado Cabello, as well as the best wish of success of the South African communists, for whom Commander Chavez and all our people have always felt the deepest respect and admiration. More than a century of great battles and historic victories of the SACP, as well as its enormous prestige and political capacity, allow us to see with great optimism its future in the vanguard of the South African working people, leading the fight against imperialism for socialism, peace, and progress in the world. In relation to our country, in recent years, our revolution have had to overcome huge challenges. We have been victims of the most brutal aggressions in our entire Republican history. Yankee imperialism has used against Venezuela all the instruments of its interventionist policy, political violence, coup d'etat, attacks with mercenaries, sabotage of public service, assassination attempts on President Maduro, diplomatic isolation, sociological war, economic blockade. And then, after 5 years of aggression, we can proudly say that the United States has suffered one of the worst defeats in almost 200 years of interventionism, plunder, and wars in our continent. The imperialism was looking for a counter-revolutionary insurrection and found a revolution decided to win. This victory is due to many factors: the courage of our people, their conscience, the figure of Chavez, Commander Chavez, who inspired our people, the strength of popular power, the leadership of President Nicolás Maduro, and the powerful international solidarity of many nations and political forces in the world, among which Russia, China, Cuba, Iran, South Africa, and in this country, the SACP, ANC, COSATU stand out. Thank you very much for this solidarity. Dear comrades, we assure you that this solidarity has become a permanent source of energy for struggles of our people. I finish right now. But above all things, this historic victory was achieved thanks to the unity of the revolutionaries, beginning with the unity of our party, the civic military union, the unity of the Venezuelan people. With a formidable deployment of the popular masses led by our party, we have successfully defended national independence, political stability, democracy, peace, and most importantly, the political power in the hands of revolutionaries to give continuity to the historical project of the working classes, the socialism. However, the criminal imperialist economic blockade has caused disastrous damage to our people. Two indicators reflect the dramatic situation created by the genocide. The economy has contracted by 65%. On the other hand, the state had stopped receiving more than $140 billion. Now, the main political task in our country is the recovery of the production. And we have good news. The economy has already started to grow since last year and will grow faster this year, although the economic blockade remains intact. This productive expansion will be used to recover wages, create jobs, strengthen social protection, and improve public services. The goal is to strengthen the social policies of the revolution that, despite the serious situation, never stopped, and put the social welfare in the level that existed, high level that existed before the criminal economic war. Dear comrades, now more than ever it is necessary to build a platform of struggles and political program capable to unite the revolutionary and progressive forces of the planet to stop the destructive fury of imperialism. Russia is carrying out a great battle against NATO's policy of war and terror. A progressive wave continues to advance in our continent. China emerged as the main economic power on the planet. An important pulse of power challenge the hegemony of the United States. We have to celebrate the emergence of a new world order. Otherwise, it could be too late for humanity because of the irrationality and aggressiveness of Yankee imperialism. Likewise, comrades, we want our participation in this Congress to serve, to deepen cooperation between our people, governments, and parties. For example, with the progressive economical recuperation in our country, a mechanism can be promoted to help solve the situation that South Africa is facing currently in the energy sector. Helping a country as loved as South Africa is a moral obligation for us. Finally, we want to ratify before you our irreducible socialist convictions. We will never abandon or negotiate the socialist character of our revolution. With the impulse of the recent victories, we will consolidate the transition to the Bolivarian socialism of the 21st century. The legacy of Commander Chavez was deeply inspired by our liberator, Simón Bolívar. Thank you very much. ¡Amándala! ¡Viva APC! ¡Viva socialismo! ¡Viva Sudáfrica! ¡Viva Chávez!
Thanks, comrades, and I agree that we need to consolidate and work together so that the issues of electricity can be dealt with by cooperation between South Africa and Venezuela and in a number of other economic fields. Thank you very much. Comrades, we can maybe sing one song so that we can be able to determine the way forward. Thanks, comrades. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
All right.
Quickly. Yes. So, we have this.
Come slowly. Come slowly.
Claro. Debut.
Amanda.
Dear comrades, Commander Chavez was here 2008, and he left here his soul, his heart. The love for you was amazing. And now, in this year, and in this occasion, we want to bring to you, to your party, to you, our friends, this figure of the Commander Chavez. In the last political meeting, this is a figure that's very important for us, and we won't give you. Sorry. Chavez, this is the last meeting he had in his life. Yes. Thank you, comrades.
Amanda. Amandla. Comrades, thank you very much. I'm going to allow Comrade Jenny to come and outline the processes of commissions so that we may be able then to break out to commissions as per the YCL request. Thank you very much, comrades. And we'll be complying with our report. Comrade Jenny. Comrade, please, comrade, please come.
Amandla. Socialism is the future. And comrades YCL, the future starts right now, and building socialism, I want it in my lifetime, not your lifetime. I'm planning to live for 30 years. Let's build socialism now as we go forward into our commissions. Comrades, on a more serious note, in your program, you will find on page 14 the framework for the commissions. So I'm going to take as little time as possible to get you moving into the commissions. What's important is to remember that we have adopted an approach that the political report, the organizational report, the finance report, and our struggle for the South African struggle for socialism, which we have engaged with in the last 4 Jack Simons party schools, are all going to be discussed in the commissions, as is the paper in your Boer Communisi on fighting patriarchy. So all of those need to inform the way in which you approach your particular commission. We've asked that provinces and the YCL and the CC divide yourselves across all of the commissions, and we are going to ask the chair people to manage that if they feel that there is a skewed representation in the commissions. On page 15 of the document, it outlines the cross-cutting issues that it is important for us to ensure in our commissions that we take on board. The first is that we want you to be able to identify existing and potential motive forces to drive the struggles in that particular focus area of your commission, and from that to identify the organizational strategy or the forces that need to be mobilized, including the role of our alliance in relation to that particular focus area. Secondly, we are asking that you look at the organization of women and the taking forward of gender struggles in relation to that particular area. We are asking that you incorporate issues of climate justice and environmental protection across all of the areas of the commissions. The issues of job creation and sustainable livelihood possibilities don't fit into one commission. They again cut across all of the commissions. The mobilization and organization of youth and campaigns around building an active progressive youth movement is also a critical process. We do not want to adopt the approach of saying we have the YCL, they must organize the youth. As the Communist Party, we need to be looking at what are we going to be doing to ensure that the issues of the youth are integrated into our approaches. We need to unpack what the implications for the character and the kind of SACP that we are trying to build, flowing out of the struggles that you're identifying in your particular area. Importantly, and it's been raised in the organizational report and very strongly in the finance report this morning, the building of the resources to be able to stabilize the party and ensure a sustainable party going forward is very important. We don't want any commission to be coming up with wonderful ideas of campaigns or wonderful ideas of building the staff component in HQ and not actually looking at how we're going to resource that. So that, again, is a cross-cutting issue that needs to be looked at. The issue of contesting elections, there is no single commission that is looking at that. It needs to be integrated into the discussion of all of the commissions in relation to your particular focus area. And the last cross-cutting issue is the issue of ensuring that we are informing a communication strategy and a battle of ideas regarding the strategic tasks that arise out of your commission's work. And comrades, it's important for us to realize that the battle of ideas has to operate at different levels. We have to be able to go toe-to-toe with the neoliberal economic theorists. But at the same time, if we are not able to translate that into something that meshes with the workers of this country, meshes with the social building of a socialist movement of the workers and the poor, we are failing in our vanguard role. So our communication strategy needs to be able to address that. Comrades, those are the cross-cutting issues. The commission focus areas, and I'm not going to speak to the content of it. You've got a paragraph that kind of sets the scene for each of the commissions. The first commission is the Commission on Economic and Social Transformation and Development. The venue for that commission is Marco Polo in the international section. Comrades, as you walk in at the reception area of Birchwood, you've got international on your left and domestic on your right. In the international section, you'll find a room labeled Marco Polo, and that is where the first commission will be sitting. What you don't have in your document is the scribes and resource people that have been identified for your commission. The chairperson will, I'm sure, ensure that those people are introduced to you when you meet in your commission. Your document does indicate who your chair, your presenter, and your rapporteurs are. I will only speak to where those have changed. The second commission, which is the Commission on Transformation of the State and Building of a Developmental State. And I really want to re-emphasize what the GS said in his political report. That is a commission that is focusing on the character of the state. How far have we got in transforming the character of the South African state into a developmental state? What capacity do we have? What capacity do we need? And how do we deal with the issues of erosion of the state, either through neoliberal agendas or through corporate capture of the state? That commission will meet in a room called Heathrow. There we have added a chair, so Comrade Jeff Radebe will co-chair with Comrade Ben, because Comrade Ben will need to step out for part of the time to assist with the Constitutional Commission, which I'll get to at the end of this. The presenter is Comrade Madala Masuku. That's the second commission in Heathrow. The third commission is the Commission on Workplace and Building Progressive Worker Organization. It covers both the trade union movement and other forms of worker organization, for example, organization of workers in the informal sector, and that will be meeting at Terminal B. Terminal B, comrades, you go across this parking area and you head straight up towards a gate, and on your left, right at the end of it, you'll find Terminal B. And that is where that commission is taking place. So I hope the team that we met earlier will understand that that is a change of venue from what had been told earlier. So Terminal B for the Commission on Workplace and Building Progressive Worker Organization. There are no changes to the chairs and the rapporteurs there. The Commission on Civic, Residential and Community Development Struggles is taking place in King Shaka, up at the top, but on the domestic side, not on the international. So on the right, as you are coming in from reception, if you're going up from this side, it'll obviously be on your left. There, Comrade Suduma Dlamini will chair. Comrade Lechisa, unfortunately, has fallen ill, and we hope he's recovering well. And so between Suduma and Comrade Polly, they will manage the process with their resource people. So that's Commission 3. Commission 4, which is on land redistribution, agriculture, and integrated human settlements, will be taking place in the auditorium in International, up at the top. And there we have Comrade Kuliswa as the chair. The change in terms of the presenter, Comrade Jerry Tebedi has recently had an op, so he's not been able to be here. Comrade Dibolelo Matlatsi will be the presenter, and Comrade Paul Parkis will be the rapporteur on that. So that's Commission 5 on land redistribution, agriculture, and integrated human settlements will be in the auditorium on the international section side up at the top. The last of the commissions that's in your document is the Commission on Party Building, Sustainability of the Party, drop the issue of constitutional matters, I'll get that, organizational renewal of the movement, so not only our own organizational renewal, but broader organizational renewal and internationalism. That commission will be meeting in Wonderboom, in the domestic side of the courtyard. And there again, Comrade Yunus will be supported by Comrade Pumulo, Comrade Pumulo as a co-chair, because again, Comrade Yunus will have to step out to deal with the constitutional issues, and the presenter there will be Comrade Franz Baleni. Comrades, the last issue is the constitutional amendments. We have asked each province and the YCL to provide 2 people. We have, I think, received by now all of the names of them. I'll double check if there's anybody who's still outstanding. That commission will be meeting in a smaller format than the other commissions. They will be meeting in Barcelona on the international side, and Comrade Ben and Comrade Yunus will manage that process. Comrades, we also want to draw our attention to the fact that the time management issues obviously are putting us under pressure, so we're going to ask you to move when the chairperson allows you to, not when I allow you to. When the chairperson allows you to move as fast as possible, get into the commissions, and give your chairs as much cooperation as possible. The rules of Congress in terms of speaking rights and conduct covers what we do in commissions as much as it covers what we do in plenary. So let's please give that cooperation to the leadership of the commissions. We are breaking for the awards dinner at 8:30 tonight. So we do have very constrained time. Each commission, though, can determine after the dinner or early tomorrow morning, how do you want to use your time beyond that? Comrade Chair, I hope that has given a sense of the commissions. What we also want to emphasize is that there is no Chinese wall between any of these commissions. So we've encouraged the chairs and rapporteurs to also engage with each other in terms of what gets brought back to Congress, with a very strong emphasis on ensuring that out of this, we can get a powerful organizing strategy that can take, one, endorsing and enriching our party program, the South African Struggle for Socialism, but also giving us the background, the basis for a very powerful organizing strategy as we move to put into practice the Congress theme of together building a militant socialist movement of workers and the poor. Thanks, Comrade Chair.
Thanks, Comrade Jenny. Comrades, that is the outline for the commissions, and we expect you, as I hope you have been deployed accordingly by provinces to different commissions, that once we leave here, all of us go to commissions as outlined, comrades. And I would therefore release all of you to commissions, comrades, and that is the end of our discussions for today until 8:30, when we break for the dinner and awards, comrade, will be at 8:30. 8:30. In OR Tambo Hall, comrades. 8:30, OR Tambo Hall. We will then meet there, 8:30. Let's now leave for commissions. All right, comrades, hold on, please.
Amandla, Amandla. Comrades, we want to encourage you that you stay throughout in commissions. There's a possibility that you might be brought back to process the elections matter. The secretaries are having a discussion. They have asked an extension from the Electoral Commission to finalize a comprehensive approach, which they will then have to engage with their respective delegations. So people mustn't leave their commissions, because at that time we'll take people back from the commissions to come to the plenary. Thank you very much.
That's what I said. So that because it's all over.
Oh, no, 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 no. That's that right. That's No, I can find a way. No, I can find a way. Okay, please. Zakumbuza. One thing I guess, I think, how big you like, you can be a young in the Foot sack. We are born a football.